On Pokemon Day this year, the next main series game was announced, and the game turned out to be not Let's Go Togepi and Meryl, not Black and White 3, but Legends ZA. Guys, I am completely excited that we're getting a second Legends game, and that game is the long-deserved follow-up to X and Y. What an unexpected but exciting outcome. So I'm Shrill, and I have 10 predictions that I really want to share with you guys after considering the information revealed to us so far. Let's dive in. I think there will be descendants of various characters that we know of in Legends ZA. One of the coolest things about Legends Arceus is that we got to see and interact with the various ancestors of some characters we were familiar with. This was because we were exploring the Sinnoh region in the past, but taking a look at the new trailer, it seems that Legends ZA will take place in a futuristic setting. Additionally, this is going to be a Legends game, meaning that it is going to be different in many ways from the other normal games in the core series. That's why I think that instead of ancestors, we could very well see descendants this time around, which I think would be very cool. Within the trailer, we were provided with what seems to be the blueprint of the redeveloped Lumiose city. If we compare this to a map of the Lumiose city we know of in X and Y, we could spot some differences. One of them is the design of the 5 plazas. In the X and Y Lumiose city, they were designed like Pokeballs, but in ZA Lumiose city, they all have different designs. But since the original designs for the plazas were Pokeballs, could these designs signify that new Pokeballs are coming our way in this game? Now I know that might sound like somewhat of a stretch, but I mean hey, we got new Pokeballs in the last Legends game, so the possibility is still up in the air. Have you noticed this strange symbol while watching the trailer? I think it's obvious that this symbol is going to have some significance in the game. It reminds me of the symbol for the Galaxy team in Hisui, though I'll be honest and say that it's kind of hard to give a solid reason as to why. Maybe because they're both essentially colored gold, or maybe because the symbol just gives corporation. Either way, I'm convinced that this symbol is going to be the symbol of a corporation that's dedicated towards working with you for the main goal of this game, which is redeveloping Lumiose City. Kind of like how the Galaxy team worked with you to study the Pokemon in Hisui. But if you're still not buying into that meaning of the symbol, just know that there's actually another gold symbol that represents a corporation in Pokemon, the Aether Foundation symbol. At the very end of the trailer, it was revealed to us that Mega Evolution is coming back. Yes everyone, your desperate pleas have been heard. Though I think that the return of Megas in this game means that we're going to get new Megas, and since we're revisiting the Kalos region, we could probably get new Mega forms for Kalos Pokemon, especially since the only one to have one so far is Deontay. We might also get new Megas for Pokemon from other regions, and maybe even regions from after Kalos as well. I just think that in any case, we are going to get new Megas, because it's an opportunity too good for Game Freak to miss with the return of Mega Evolution. But I don't just believe that we'll only be getting new Megas, but also new regional forms, as this is another thing we saw in Legends Arceus. Now you might think that having regional forms and Mega Evolution in the same game is a lot to expect, but that might not be true, because we have already seen regional forms and battle gimmicks coexist within almost every game since Gen 7. So I think that is something that we could very well see for this game as well. But I don't just believe that we'll only be getting new Megas and regional forms, but also completely new Pokemon. Since we're in a Legends game, it's very possible that we could see new evolutions for various Pokemon in the past. And just like how we got a new legendary member, Anamoris, we could very well get one in this game as well. But I think that out of all the potential new Pokemon we could be getting, the one that we'll most possibly get is a new legendary represented by the letter A. When we look at the logo, we know that the Z stands for Zygarde. This is further confirmed by the cells in the Z, so therefore we can infer that the A with finds in it represents a new legendary. Though I'll talk more about this legendary later, because I think that it did something. Anyways, we might get new boss Pokemon in this game, and if so, I think all of them would be new Pokemon. In the previous Legends game, we were introduced to noble Pokemon, who are these boss Pokemon that we had to battle and quell in a very interesting and challenging format. Now I'm not saying that noble Pokemon would return in Legends ZA, because we are going to be in a very different setting than Hisui. I'm just saying that since this is a Legends game, it could mean that we are going to get some form of boss Pokemon with a new title. Though the reason why I believe that they all will be new Pokemon is because all of the noble Pokemon we got in Legends Arceus were new at the time. So while I think that all these things will happen, there's one thing that I don't think we'll see in Legends ZA, and that is anything connected to Paldea. Here's why. Legends Arceus was released towards the end of Gen 8, and the region that debuted in Gen 8 was Galar through the game's Sword and Shield. But throughout all of Arceus, there wasn't really anything connected to Galar or Sword and Shield, despite the game being in Gen 8. This was most likely because the focus was on Sinnoh, and it's clear that in ZA, the focus will be on Kalos, specifically Lumiose City. Additionally, Mochi Mayhem, the the epilogue for Scarlet and Violet that was released in January basically wrapped up Paldea's story for good, so we might not see anything related to it in this game, though I actually wouldn't be mad if I'm wrong about this specific prediction. Let's talk more about Kalos now. I think a bad event occurred at Lumiose City not long before a story in Legends ZA would take place. Like, think about it. Why are we on an urban redevelopment plan? Why do we need to redevelop Lumiose City? What happened to it? Well, since we're redeveloping Lumiose City, that could mean that we are repairing some sort of damage done to it, right? Maybe, just maybe, it was ravaged by a second war that took place in Kalos. Remember the A legendary we were talking about earlier? You know, the one that did something? I think that it could have been involved with the destruction caused in this war, because it seems to serve as somewhat of a counterpart to Zygarde, and Zygarde is known as the Order Pokemon. So this A legendary will probably be a Pokemon of Chaos, since that's the opposite of Order, and therefore might be the very reason as to why we had to redevelop Lumiose City. And finally, I think that either AZ or a relative of AZ named ZA will appear in the game. Once the title of Legends ZA was revealed to us, one of the first things some of you guys probably thought of was AZ. He was the former king of the Kalos region and the creator of the ultimate weapon, a weapon used to destroy the Great War in Kalos 3000 years ago. You probably thought about this guy because the title of this game is obviously his name reversed. As to what role he would play in the game, I'm not sure, but because of the resemblance between the title and his name, and also his significance to Kalos' story, we might see him appear. But what if we just don't? Then we'll probably see a relative of his take an important role in the story. Here's two possibilities as to how ZA could specifically be related to AZ. The first one is that he could be AZ's younger brother. Within some documents in the Lysandre labs in X and Y, it was revealed that AZ had a younger brother who buried the ultimate weapon underground. Just as AZ gained immortality from the weapon, maybe ZA gained immortality as well for being in contact with it, making him live long enough to show up in Legends ZA. Or there's a second possibility. If we just take my first prediction in this video into consideration, it could be possible that ZA is actually a descendant of AZ. Do you agree with these predictions? Do you think that something else would happen? Do you have your own predictions? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to tackle that like button and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching, and until next time, see ya.